But guys, imagine it's nighttime, everything's quiet, you have the doors locked before you head to bed. Maybe you're already asleep. You checked up on the kids prior, everything's good to go, and you hear a loud crash or a bang in the middle of the night that makes you jump out of bed. What are you gonna? What's the next step after that? What's your bedside firearm? Have you prepared for a moment like this? Do you know your house corner to corner? These are all things that goes through your head. When you think about these kind of things. Do you have a weapon mounted light? Do do you have body armor? I don't know. You don't know what you're gonna encounter. Sometimes it could be a regular break-in individual, or it could be a group of guys. So, Sarge, what do you think about this topic or
Yeah, I mean,
this scenario?
so just dealing with it and the things that I've come across with home invasions and or burglaries or whatever we want to call it, because some states are different. They call them
Mhm.
not home invasions but other stuff. So um, pertaining to that, what we typically deal with is crews. People running in crews or kicking the door. They're using
Yeah,
different tactics to try to get in, like the pizza delivery guys. That's a big popular one right now, pretending they're delivering pizza or something like that.
yeah,
So you go into the door and having that um, shocker when you find out that you're getting robbed or whatever the case is. But I mean, typically, like, think about the nighttime. You go to bed, there's a bump in the night, someone kicks down your door. That's probably the scariest thing you can come across. But I mean, what do you have? I mean, if you're the person that keeps a pistol or a shotgun or a rifle beside your bed, why do you do it? Like, is there a reason behind it? So finding out that why and understanding, what could be more appropriate. Like, a shotgun's great. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Shotgun's great. It's a great tool, especially if you're using, buckshot, birdshot, whatever you have to do, thinking in that mindset of, you got to remember there's other people in your house, or there may not be. You may be alone or whatever, but like me, I have to think about my family, and it's a different process for me
yeah,
when it comes to clearing my house, because we're on the bottom floor and my kids are on the top floor. So I have to think, how am I going to get to my kids and what line of sight from the door? So you have to, there's a lot of stuff you have to take into consideration and stuff, especially like, say, for Panda, for instance, like if you live in an apartment or a condo or something like that, and you have neighbors on the sides of you,
hmm
you start firing through a wall or through a apartment, and it goes through a wall and kills somebody, you're responsible for that round that comes out. So it's
even an
definitely,
apartment.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely something you got to think about when you're
yeah,
picking what you're going to use to protect you and your family.
yeah.
So
I meant to say townhouse, not apartment, but yeah,
condo,
all
townhouse, whatever. I mean, those more confined areas where it's like I'm in a house, it's completely different. We have upstairs, downstairs, so I got to think about a lot of, how am I going to get to my kids and break whatever line of sight? Because if they're coming through the front door, which, if they came through the garage, I'd be really surprised, because that's very rare, but it could happen. Um, but if they're coming through the front door, as soon as I come out, the stairs kind of give me some kind of concealment so I could peek it. But
yeah,
at night, the element of surprise, everything fast. If you're going to move on something, you need to move. So
yeah. And dealing with if you're a parent with young children, I know kids love to leave their toys all over the place too. So that's tripping hazard sometimes.
yeah.
So if that could be another thing, tripping hazards due to unexpected, uh, things. But again, do you have a good flashlight, weapon mounted light? You know, what's your go to firearm? have you thought about that first? Uh, do you have enough time to put on body armor or anything like that if you have that rig right next to your bed? These are all considerations.
Yeah, so the key thing here is understanding your layout, and can you do it in the dark, right? Because
Mhm.
a lot of people don't get trained on low light. I mean, that's just not a thing. You carry a flashlight because you want to be able to see and do all that stuff. And some people are kind of um, those kind of people that are like, no, I got to have a handheld. I got to have a handheld and a pistol. Well, I mean, my whole thing is the reason why I wouldn't do that is because I like to have a hand free because I can still work a pistol one handed. But
Mhm.
now try holding a flashlight and trying to work a door and all that stuff. Have I trained it? Yes, I have, because earlier in my patrol days, we weren't allowed to have weapon mounted lights unless you were SWAT, which to me just didn't make any sense because I've carried those kind of things for a long time in the military. So, um, can you
Yeah.
do? Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're doing that, and the key thing is have you have you just walked around your house when it's dark? You turn off all the lights and just kind of walk around and see how long it takes for you to gather your night vision and be able to move like that. Now, when you add a light, guess what happens? You're gonna add that light, and it's hard to get back your night vision as fast as you want it whenever you turn it off. So, um,
Also, you got to think about different lumens of light too, because
um,
you know if it's dark, your eyes are adjusted to dark for the most part too, and you turn that high 1,000 lumen, 2,000 lumen flashlight on. Not only are you going to blind whoever that's intruding your home, but you're going to blind yourself too if shine it, like Sarge said, like earlier we were talking, you shine it across a mirror or a white paint or something like that, or even just close by, like that's gonna kind of like throw you off for a moment.
yeah, I mean, you have to think about that and what's gonna help you. I mean, Shogun makes a good comment, but uh, I think we're kind of past the age of the 100 lumen lights, unfortunately. So you get into a TLR 7 or TLR 1 sub, or even some of the O lights. The O lights are pretty bright
Yeah.
as they are. Now, do they dim down? Yes, and they dim down pretty quick. So I think that's one of the advantages of the O light. It does serve a purpose, but it just, like I said on a previous stream that I was on, that it doesn't fit my purpose. Do I have them? Yes, I do. But do I use them? No. It's too much. So when you start thinking about high lumen, high candela, and all this stuff that it's like flip floppy, right? They want to say, well, it's about the lumens. No, it's about the candela. So to me, I just look at it like when it's dark and I point it at a white wall, how bad is that going to come back and smack me in the face and mess up my night vision? So those are things to consider. So when you pick a light, be purposeful. Hey, I'm going to use it for this. This is for my bedside gun. Um, Stuff like that. So you definitely have to really think about what you have and why you have it, what its purpose is. Are you going to run around and grab a spare mag, or what's your plan? Are you getting up to your family? Are you getting them all into one room? Who's calling 911? Who's doing? You got to have a plan. So if it's just you by yourself, you got to be the one that kind of pushes back and makes the call. And then when they breach that threshold past a point of no return, is what I'd like to call it. Once you get past that point of no return, it's game on. It's if you get it,
So,
you get it,
so
and it's on
talking
you.